Dustin Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dustin Rider here. Welcome to my review for the Power Rangers Beast Moprhers 12-inch figures for the Yellow Ranger and Silver Ranger. Just the other day I made a video previewing some of the toys we'll be getting throughout this year, and many sites had these listed for fall, but then they appeared like the day my video came out. So you know how it is. I'm very happy to see we're getting a Yellow Ranger figure. I personally didn't, obviously we got it, it's right here. But I personally didn't see anything to indicate we were getting one. I saw the large scale figures for basically all the guys like in the Toy Fair stuff, but no indication of yellow, so I'm really happy we got her so we can have the full core team if you do collect these. The boxes have these really cool art here, which, you know, I just wanted to show off, and there's something else about the box I want to comment on, but I'll wait till I'm done with the review. But let's start with yellow here, good old Zoe, eating those carrots. I don't know why I said that, but I mean, she does, it's just a fact. I feel like there's something about, I think maybe it's the yellow color that makes this look a little bit worse than blue and yellows. Like it's, or blue and yellow, this is yellow. Blue and red, you know, this has always been a basic line. It's not the most paint, it's not the least paint. It's somewhere in the middle. I personally think these look fairly decent in general, and I think they do a good job like with the leathery details, where they could have easily made it look really weird. And I think the proportions look fine. They're honestly pretty decent figures. Like I think kids will like playing with these. I think they don't make too bad of display pieces. If you like large scale figures, you could paint them to touch them up and stuff. But there's something about the yellow, I think that maybe they just used too bright of one, I don't know, but it looks a little bit more off, a little cheaper than the others. I mean, in general, they are cheaper looking figures, but you might know what I mean. I'm just rambling, but it's kind of just hard to describe. I think they did a fairly decent job on the head sculpt, though. There is something off about this. I feel the color here and here is too similar. I think this needs to be darkened a little bit because I think it blends in a little more than it should. But in terms of, like, you know, the scale and stuff, it doesn't feel like anything's too big or too small and anything like that. Same thing generally with the proportion of the body. You do have some articulation here, which I'm going to be talking about in a second because he's lacking some, spoiler alert. But you do have arm hinge articulation here, which is nice. You can swivel her hands. This is unfortunately stuck in a blaster pose, even though she only has one. You do have the hinge joints here, which you can really see. It kind of bothers me how obvious they are on hers because they have the skirt piece. I'm going to be honest, because I'm not going to be posing my figures like this. I almost would have rather it just been a solid skirt piece and then having them forego the skirt articulation, but whatever. As you can see, she does come with one weapon, which is the combined mode between the blaster and the saber, which creates this here, which is kind of weird because I feel like this is one they usually use with two hands, and then it's like, hey, I'm just gonna use this one hand here, and then this hand is permanently stuck in a blaster mode. But yeah, I am happy we have her. It's not the best figure ever, but it's not the worst figure. But if you're collecting these, and like me, I was just super excited to have Go-Esther suits things, so I liked having these larger figures, and it's nice to be able to display the core team of 3 and then eventually the core team of 5. So even though it's not the best, I am happy we got it. Also, I just said a bunch of times, and I apologize about that. This still bothers me. I wish that the Morpher was right here, and you can't twist it, so it's always there, and, well, that bothers me. Okay, now Silver. It's kind of weird. Silver's the first one we got, despite the fact that he debuted second, although it was, like, literally within seconds. It's like when one twin's like, I'm older than you by, like, 3 seconds, but it's weird that Gold and Silver didn't release together. I really hope now that we've gotten her, we could get a Roxy one. That would have been cool to release those two together, but it's just weird having Silver and Yellow, and we're still waiting on Gold, since these two come as a set, and then, like, chronologically he came after. But look-wise, I think he's mostly solid. If I'm being honest, other than just generally a few of the little details to even him out being missing, the only thing that really bothers me look-wise is I don't really care for this color they used for this part of the armor, since it's a little bit shinier in the show. I didn't necessarily expect it to be shiny, but I think it stands out a little more than I would like it to. But much like Yellow, I think proportion-wise it looks pretty solid. I think the helmet, the head sculpt, other than missing a few little beats, looks pretty decent in terms of scale. I think it looks pretty nice. They did a very good job on the silver paint. It actually looks silver. This very easily could have been a very gray-colored looking figure where it looked really boring and like all the life got sucked out of it, but they actually have the silver here, and like it really looks like the leathery material here with the silver with the folds here, and like that's an appreciated detail for just kind of a cheap nutcracker figure. The weapon he comes with is just the Morpher and not the like the saber that's a steering wheel, so you just have that. But yeah, pretty much all the things that I liked about the original ones in Yellow stand here, but again, it's not every detail, not the best, but not the worst. But here's where my complaint comes in. This guy's arm articulation is only this. His arms don't move out. at first I was like, why? Like, I don't get it. Like, usually hindered articulation is something that happens to villain figures, which is what happens in the main wave, or the basic figures. And I guess it's because you have these armored bits here, and they were maybe just too stingy to include an extra hinge or something here so that you could move these. But that definitely bothers me, since all the other Rangers have it, and then all of a sudden he's stuck. And I'm going to assume that Gold might have the same problem. I mean, his legs still move and stuff. You still have the head articulation just like Yellow and all the rest, which is nice. But I thought that this was a nice beat, like actually having this articulation, because a lot of those Nutcracker figures don't. And it definitely disappoints me that Silver doesn't have it, and that was kind of a unwelcome surprise. Also, on the back here, I just wanted to point this out. This is just for fun. It says for the description, it says, imagine morphing into action with a robotic Silver Ranger as the Power Rangers protect the grid. So like, all this time, I thought when kids bought these, they were just supposed to play with them like action figures. I didn't know you were supposed to imagine being turned into a doll and being trapped forever. It's kind of horrifying, if we're being honest. But yeah, overall, I don't think I'm going to change anybody's mind on these. I kind of dig them, but I don't think they're an absolute must-have. If you're kind of like me and just really like the Go-Buster suits and want something out of them, and you know what you're getting, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised in some aspects. And if you're a customizer, you can customize them to look pretty cool. But I think they're a pretty easy pass, but I think that they're a step up from what Bandai was offering us previously. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And of course, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell to get the notifications from all my videos. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.